Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone much older and wondered, what stories are hiding behind those quiet glances? What heartbreaks, what wisdom, and what habits have silently taken root? Growing old is a journey we all must take if. We're lucky, but with age, not everything turns golden. Some things become harder to talk about. Some things we hide, even from ourselves. This isn't a video to blame or to shame. It's a soft mirror held up gently to remind us that growing older doesn't have to mean growing distant, bitter, or unseen. So in this video, we're going to talk about 10 difficult truths things seniors often do as they age that no one dares to tell them. Some are painful. Some might sound too familiar, but all of them matter. Number 1, letting go of their appearance, and not in a good way. Greater than, there comes a moment somewhere between forgetting where you put your glasses and realizing you're already wearing them, when many older adults start to let go of their appearance, not in the enlightened, spiritual, I no longer care what society thinks kind of way, but in the I haven't looked in a mirror since last Easter sort of way. Greater than the hair goes from carefully combed to permanently windblown. Favorite. Clothes are replaced with whatever is clean, nearby, and stretchy. And makeup? What makeup? I'm retired, they say, even from my face. Now, let's be honest. After decades of worrying about how we look, it's tempting and fair to just stop. No more stiff shoes, no more painful beauty routines, no more pretending. We like ties, but here's the gentle truth. Letting go of appearance isn't always about freedom. It can also be a silent cry, a sign of giving up. A feeling invisible. Of waking up and thinking, why bother? Who's even looking anymore? And that, dear friends, breaks the heart. Greater than, because when we stop caring for ourselves, we're not just abandoning hair and clothes. We're abandoning a little part of dignity. A little piece of joy. The small but powerful act of saying, I still matter. And oh, how you do. Dressing up even just a little can lift the soul. A favorite shirt, a spritz of perfume, a good shave, or a pop of lipstick. It's not vanity, it's vitality. So no, we're not asking you to dye your hair purple or squeeze into jeans from 1983. But maybe, just maybe, it's worth brushing your hair before walking past a mirror. Not for the world to see, but for you to remember you're still here, you're still you, and you're still worth showing up for. Number 2, becoming stubborn and proud of it. Greater than, there's something funny about aging. The older we get, the more we seem to say, well, I've lived long enough to know I'm always right. Suddenly, everything becomes non-negotiable. Chair must face the window, never the TV. The toast must be exactly medium brown. And don't you dare rearrange the salt and pepper shakers. That's sacred territory. We laugh, of course, but here's the deeper truth. Many seniors grow more stubborn, not out of confidence, but from fear of change, fear of being left behind. Fear that the world is spinning too fast and they no longer have a seat at the table. Greater than, so, instead of saying, I'm scared, they say, you're wrong. Instead of asking, can you help me understand? They declare, back in my day, things were better. And let's be fair, they might be right, but clinging too tightly to the way things used to be can squeeze out the joy of what still could be. It's not easy to admit that our own habits might be the ones holding us back. That maybe our children aren't too sensitive. We're just too used to not apologizing. Greater than, so, here's a gentle nudge to all the beloved elders out there. It's okay to change. It's okay to say, I hadn't thought of it that way. And it's absolutely okay to let someone younger teach you something new, even if it's how to use the TV remote. Greater than, because the truth is, nobody stops learning unless they decide to stop. And life, dear friend, still has so much to teach. So the next time you feel the urge to dig your heels in and say, because I said so, maybe pause and ask, what if I let myself be curious just for today? Stubbornness may feel like strength, but openness? That's the true sign of wisdom. If you found this video meaningful, don't forget to subscribe and join our community where we celebrate life's later chapters with heart, humor, and hope. Number 3, complaining constantly and not noticing it anymore. This tea's too cold. My back hurts. They don't make music like they used to. Why is everything so expensive? The neighbor's dog barks too much. My toe's been weird since Tuesday. Ah yes, the great symphony of complaints played daily by many beloved seniors across the globe. And the funny thing is, most of the time, they don't even realize they're doing it. It starts small. One little grumble at breakfast, then a side comment about the weather, then a full-on TED talk about how no one uses proper grammar anymore. Greater than before long, complaining becomes a full-time hobby, and the sad part is, it begins to push people away. Friends stop calling, grandkids stop visiting, not because they don't care, but because every chat feels like stepping into a storm cloud. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Chronic complaining often hides a deeper pain, loneliness, frustration, a sense that life is no longer in their control. And instead of saying, "I'm sad," they say, "This soup is too salty." But here's the beautiful flip side. The human brain is still brilliantly rewritable, even at 80. Just as we've trained ourselves to see the worst, we can learn slowly, gently to notice the best. Greater than the warm light in the morning, the taste of a favorite fruit, the silly dance your knee does when you try to stand up too fast. Gratitude, dear friend, is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Greater than so, next time you feel that complaint bubbling up, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this something I can let go of? Or could I trade it for a smile? After all, you've earned every right to speak your mind. But wouldn't it be lovely if your words brought a little more sunshine? Life may give us aches and pains, but let's not let it take away our light. Number 4, isolating themselves while pretending they're fine. Greater than I'm fine. Two of the most dangerous words an aging soul can say. I'm fine, they whisper, as they eat dinner alone for the 4th night in a row. I'm fine, they insist, as the phone gathers dust and the walls grow quiet. I'm fine, they mumble, even when their heart quietly aches for company. Greater than isolation in old age doesn't always look like loneliness. Sometimes it wears a proud face. I don't want to bother anyone. They're too busy. I like the peace and quiet. But here's the truth. We humans were never designed to live in silence. Not forever. Greater than the soul needs laughter, conversation, the clinking of cups, the rhythm of footsteps walking together, even the occasional, "You already told me that story, Grandpa." And let's be honest, you're going to tell it again anyway. Greater than the tragedy is, many seniors start to believe their absence goes unnoticed, that if they stop calling, stopped showing up, no one would mind. But oh, how wrong that is. Greater than because even if the world feels louder, faster, younger, it still needs your stories, your jokes, your terrible singing voice, your way of making people feel at home. Greater than, but the world can't find you if you hide. Greater than reaching out isn't weakness. Asking for a visit, a walk, or a chat over tea isn't needy. It's human. And when you do, you give others a gift, the chance to love you, to know you, to remember you. So please, don't wait for someone to knock. Make the call. Send the message. Open the curtain. Step out into the light again. Greater than because while solitude can be peaceful, connection is what keeps the heart beating in full color. Greater than and you, dear one, were never meant to fade into gray. Number 5, giving up on their appearance and calling it wisdom. Greater than I don't care what I look like anymore. At my age, who am I trying to impress? Makeup, that's for weddings and funerals. And just like that, hairbrush gathers dust, the socks don't match, and fashion becomes an ancient legend from a past life. Greater than now. Don't get us wrong, age does bring a beautiful kind of freedom, not the freedom to not wear heels. The freedom to ditch tight trousers. Freedom to say, no, I will not be ironing my underpants. But sometimes, that freedom becomes an excuse, not an escape. A quiet little surrender. What starts as comfort turns into neglect. And before we know it, the mirror feels like an enemy. But here's the lovely truth. Taking care of your appearance isn't about impressing others. It's about honoring yourself. Putting on a fresh shirt, combing your hair, choosing a color you like. These are small, daily celebrations of life, of still being here. Of saying, I'm not done yet. It's not vanity. It's dignity. Greater than. And no, we're not asking for a red carpet look. We're talking about that quiet pride in how you show up to the world, even if it's just to the mailbox. Greater than, because the truth is, when you look a little better, you feel a little better. And when you feel a little better, you walk with a bit more spring, smile a bit more often, and maybe, just maybe, wave at that nice neighbor who always says hello. So no, you don't need to be Instagram ready, but maybe you do deserve a splash of perfume, a crisp collar, a moment in the mirror where you say, not bad for a legend, because you are, and the world still wants to see you shine. Number 6, refusing to learn anything new, as if curiosity has an expiry date greater than, oh no, I'm too old for that. Technology gives me a headache. TikTok? That's a sound a clock makes. Why learn something new when I already know how to boil water and grumble in style? And there it is, the silent closing of the door on curiosity greater than you see. Somewhere along the winding road of aging, many lovely seniors start to believe that learning belongs to the young. Greater than that, the brain, like an old sponge, has soaked up. Enough, and trying something new would just leak out. But let me ask you this. When do we start associating age with giving up on wonder? A toddler is curious about ants. A teenager is curious about love. A middle-aged adult is curious about mortgage rates. And seniors? They should be curious about everything else they didn't have time for before, greater than painting, gardening techniques. From Japan. How to send emojis that don't accidentally start an international incident. Yes, Nana, that eggplant emoji means something else. Greater than, because the truth is, your brain still works, your hands still move, your heart still wants a spark. The real tragedy isn't forgetting things, it's deciding there's nothing new worth remembering. Refusing to learn isn't wisdom. It's fear, dressed in sensible slippers. And here's the kicker. Trying something new doesn't mean you have to be good at it. It means you're alive enough to try. Greater than, burn the cake. Miss the yoga pose. Forget how to open. Zoom for the 5th time. That's okay. Because every attempt whispers something beautiful. I'm still growing. So please, dear seniors, don't let your inner adventurer grow old before you do. Greater than, whether it's dancing badly, painting freely, or finally figuring out what cloud storage is, step into the unknown. Because curiosity doesn't retire. And neither should you. Number 7, becoming unreasonably negative and thinking it's just being realistic. Greater than, it won't work. The world's gone to hell. People these days are all selfish. Back in my day, greater than, there it is, Grandpa's favorite song. Everything is terrible, except me. Of course, we say it with love, but let's be honest, some older folks develop a unique talent for spotting the cloud in every silver lining. And while some call it wisdom, or just telling it like it is, sometimes it's not real. It's resignation dressed in a grumpy hat. The aches, the losses, the pace of change. We understand. Age is no gentle river. But becoming a full-time pessimist doesn't protect you. It just builds a thicker wall between you and joy. See, negativity can start small. A complaint here, a criticism there, until one day, the laughter dries up and everyone starts looking for excuses not to sit too long at your table. And that's the real danger. Not that people don't care, but that your light starts dimming and you don't even notice. But guess what? You don't have to be the sunshine in every room. You just have to crack the window. Let hope in, even if it limps. Let joy in, even if it wears funny shoes. Let kindness in, even if the world does seem upside down sometimes. Because yes, world has changed, but that doesn't mean you can't find beauty in the new melody. Try smiling at the barista. Even if their nose ring frightens you, say something nice to your neighbor's noisy kid. Before the dog does, tell someone there. Doing their best, especially if that someone is you. Being realistic doesn't mean being bitter. It means facing truth with courage and still choosing to see color. Greater than, because when you speak with warmth, with openness, with a little spark, people listen. People gather. People remember. And isn't that the kind of legacy worth leaving? Number 8. Isolating themselves, then wondering why they feel invisible. Greater than, I don't want to bother anyone. People have their own lives now. I'm fine on my own, said while staring out the window for the third hour today. You. See, one of the saddest habits many seniors slip into quietly, without announcement, is self-isolation. Greater than not, just skipping parties or family dinners, but slowly closing the curtains of connection. Until the world outside feels like a foreign land. Greater than, it often starts with something simple. A friend moves away. A partner passes on. The phone rings less often. And instead of reaching out, they retreat. I'm just tired, they say. But often, it's not tiredness. It's loneliness wearing a cardigan. The thing is, humans weren't designed to live in echo chambers. We need hugs. We need laughter. We need to hear, I've missed you. And yes, we know sometimes company feels exhausting. Sometimes the noise of the world feels too much. But silence, day after day, isn't peace. It's quiet sadness, building like dust in forgotten corners. Here's the honest truth. You're not a burden. You're not an afterthought. You're a chapter still being written, and someone out there wants to read you. Maybe it's the neighbor who waves each morning. Or the grandchild who thinks you're magic, or a stranger who simply needs your story. So please, open the door. Send the text. Join the community group, even if it's mostly bingo and biscuits. Greater than, connection isn't about grand reunions. Sometimes it's just a shared cup of tea and a how are you today? Because the moment you let someone in, you remind your soul, I still matter, and you do. Deeply. More than you know. Number 9. Clinging to old grudges and carrying them like a backpack. Greater than, I never forgot what they did. Some people just don't deserve forgiveness. I'm not saying sorry. They should be the ones apologizing. Grudges. Those heavy, invisible backpacks we carry around. We all have them, don't we? Stories from decades ago, hurts that still prick like a thorn, and people we wish we could erase from our memories. But here's the thing about grudges. They don't punish the other person. They punish you. That weight drags on your shoulders, makes your steps slower and your smile a little less bright. Greater than, sometimes, after a lifetime of holding on, it becomes easier to wear that grudge than to let it go. But what if the real wisdom in aging was learning to unpack that burden? Imagine just for a moment releasing the bitterness. Saying, I forgive you, not for them, but for me. Because forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about freeing yourself. Greater than, it's about saying, I choose peace, even if the past was noisy. And when you let go of grudges, you open up space. Space for laughter. Space for new memories. Space for love. So dear seniors, if you're still carrying that backpack, maybe it's time to set it down. Your journey is too precious to be weighed down by old pain. And who knows? You might just find that letting go is the most beautiful thing you ever hold. Number 10. Ignoring their own health. Pretending it's not a big deal. Greater than, it's just a little ache. I don't want to bother the doctor. I feel fine mostly. We've all heard this before, haven't we? Seniors brushing off. symptoms like a pesky fly, pretending that the body isn't sending important messages. But here's the truth, our bodies are not just old cars that we can ignore until they break down completely. They're more like gardens, if we don't tend to them. Weeds grow, flowers wither, and the soil gets tired. Greater than when a cough lingers too long or that nagging pain keeps knocking at the door. It's not weakness to seek help, it's strength. Greater than it takes courage to admit, hey, I might need a hand here, too. Pick up the phone, to get those checkups, and to really listen to what our bodies say. Because ignoring health problems doesn't make them disappear. It just makes the future harder to face. Greater than plus. Think of all the things you want to keep doing: walking the dog, dancing at family weddings, telling your stories, eating ice cream on sunny days. These moments depend on taking care of you, your amazing, unique self. Greater than so next time you're tempted to wave off a symptom like an annoying guest. Remember, self-care is not selfish. Greater than, it's the best gift you can give yourself and the people who love you. Because living well isn't about being perfect. It's about being kind to your heart, your body, and your spirit. And that, dear seniors, is the truest kind of beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us on this heartfelt journey through the 10 ugly things seniors do as they age that no one tells you. We hope these stories touched your heart, brought a smile, and maybe even sparked a little reflection. Remember, growing older is a beautiful chapter filled with challenges and triumphs alike. And every step matters, greater than if you found this video meaningful. Please don't forget to like and share it with someone who might need a little encouragement today. Your comments mean the world to us. Tell us your thoughts, stories, or which point resonate with you the most. And of course, if you want to walk with us through more inspiring and honest conversations, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. Greater than from all of us here, thank you for being part of this community. Take care, be kind to yourselves, and keep shining your light.